Thank you for tuning in to Word of the Day Wednesdays. I am author Nicole D. Miller. This is my debut novel, When Love Wins. When Love Wins is the story of two young female cousins with a rift in their relationship. When Natalie, the faith-based social justice advocate writer, loses her mom, she moves in with her cousin Ashley, the urban culture socialite, fashionista. And unfortunately, instead of a warm welcome, Natalie receives an icy cold one from Ashley. The book deals with childhood trauma, parent absenteeism, bullying, depression, anxiety, but is faith-based, inspiring, and definitely women empowerment. If you want to learn more, go to whenlovewins.love. All right. So as you guys know, every week I do my Word of the Day Wednesdays where I piggyback off of my latest blog. This week, I did a blog called Dealing with Disappointment. How many have dealt with disappointment? If you have lived long enough, then you have. And so in this blog post, I'm pretty open on my blog in general, but in this particular one, I just share about my own disappointments and how I've kind of navigated with that. One of the experiences that I had was when my mom transitioned, and just realizing that life can have both positive and negative occurrences happen at the same time. So for me, what I realized during that experience was, even though this really hard thing happened, there were some positive things that happened as well. And it really is an attempt to look at our lives from an eternal perspective or a higher up view, because so often it can feel like all you see is the darkness, right? Especially when you're dealing with disappointment. One of the things my spiritual father shared recently was an experience he had where the message that God had given him about life was it being an adventure. And I was actually just rereading one of my really old blogs, and I had written something similar about enjoying the ride. And so often the ride can be bumpy and rocky. And if y'all remember those old school roller coasters, like the wooden ones that we used to have back when Geauga Lake was Geauga Lake, those were some rocky rides and maybe not the safest. But still fun. They were still fun. And so I think sometimes life can be like that. A really rocky old school wooden roller coaster jerking us around, But when it's all said and done, it's like, okay, that was a good ride. So anywho's, in the blog post, I'm talking about dealing with disappointment because, it jerks us around. Life jerks us around sometimes. And one of the encouragements I received was in scripture was with David. So when King David had a child with Bathsheba, that first child died, and he was fasting, as his child was sick and, praying. Sadly, sorry guys, I had to pause. Sadly, that child did die, but then he got up, he ate, and he was, moving on in life, and his servants were confused, like, why are you eating now when your child died? You should be grieving and fasting. And David's response was, basically, why would I be grieving? That's not going to help me get to this child. I'm going to have to wait to see him. He can't come to me. I will be going to him. So his perspective was to move forward, and clearly we have time and space for grief. I thank God for my time and space for grief. So it's not going to look that like David's, or at least with the time frame. But I think that mindset that he had was very inspiring for me, where it was like, okay, this hard thing happened, but we don't want to stay there. There's a time and season to process, but we don't want to stay there. Now, the interesting thing is, after that, he actually does have another child, which is Solomon, who's heirs to the throne, who reigns and is king in the lineage of Jesus Christ. And so I think that picture can give us hope that even when these really hard things do happen, there's still something good that can happen too, right? So if you guys are interested, check out that blog. Make sure to like, save, share, and subscribe at NicoleDMiller.com. So I am in the midst of doing all the things as usual. I'm actually working on my second novel, and I'm just kind of like nearing nearing the end, I'm picturing a baseball diamond, which is funny because I'm just like not into baseball for real, but I feel like I just rounded third and I'm coming home, you know. So I was talking to one of my mentors earlier today, and she was just like, you know, what's the next step? And I'm like, beta readers. Beta readers are the next step. So funny enough, we just released a blog post through Indy Miller Publishing about beta readers, and we're gearing up to offer that service. So if you know someone that needs beta reading, definitely hit us up at info@indymillerpublishing.com, or go to the website indymiller.pub, although we're still working on that service option. But definitely email is your best bet, or you could DM me. So beta readers would be the next thing, and then working on a documentary, which probably won't be out for a while, but had some good progress with that yesterday. Shout out to my boy Alien from Alienized Photography, who's always holding me down with all of my footage. Most of my footage that I post that's professional is from him. So if it's not, it's just me. If it's not professional, it's just my iPhone. But if it is professional, it's Alienized Photography. So that, and then working with some local partners to get those books out there. Working on this upcoming Girl Talk. Definitely excited about what's happening and falling in line with that. So really just feeling like this is the season for new opportunities, going to the next level. Have been very intentional to have some strategic meetings with some heavy hitters and leaders in our community. So definitely cannot wait to see what is next and to share with you guys what is next. But, you know, until we know the next steps, I just have been practicing that word of doing what is in front of you. So if you're just like, well, I don't know what to do, I'm trying to get to this next level, I'm trying to get to this next stage, and you're just confused, it's like, do what's in front of you. And so for me, that is writing. So I'm definitely in a writing season, in my little hermit season, churning out all the things, but feeling very encouraged and just can't wait to get to that space of manifestation and sharing. All right, guys, thank you guys so much for tuning in. Stay tuned for the next Word of the Day Wednesdays. Make sure to subscribe to the newsletter to stay up on all of my content, and I will see you guys next week.